A business class flight, a quiet cabin, and luggage worth over $100,000 almost disappearing in mid-air. This is not a movie plot, this actually happened on a Singapore Airlines flight, and the man behind it is now in jail. On a Singapore Airlines flight traveling from Dubai to Singapore, most passengers were asleep after the cabin lights were dimmed, but one man was wide awake and moving around the business class cabin in the early hours of the flight. A 26-year-old Chinese national stood up, walked to an overhead compartment, and took a bag that did not belong to him. That bag was no ordinary carry-on. Inside were luxury watches, cash, a laptop, cigars, and other valuables worth more than 100,000 Singapore dollars. The bag belonged to a 52-year-old passenger, and what stopped the theft was not technology or locks, but the sharp eyes of the passenger's wife. She saw the man removing the bag and confronted him immediately. Cabin crew were alerted and rushed over before they arrived. The man quietly placed the bag back into the overhead compartment. The valuables were not lost, but the attempt was already enough to trigger serious consequences. Once the plane landed in Singapore, authorities moved in and investigations began. During questioning, the man claimed it was all a mistake. He said he thought the bag was his and that he was just looking for his toiletries, but investigators found that explanation hard to believe. His own bag looked different and was stored directly above his own seat, not somewhere else in the cabin. Prosecutors later revealed a more troubling picture. The man was allegedly acting under instructions from a syndicate that specifically targeted business-class passengers. The reason was simple: business-class bags often carry high-value items, and passengers are more likely to be asleep during long-haul flights. The court took a serious view of the case, even though nothing was ultimately stolen. The judge said such crimes threaten passenger safety and trust, especially on a national carrier like Singapore Airlines. In the end, the man was sentenced to 20 months in prison. This case sends a clear message: in flight theft, even attempted theft, will not be treated lightly in Singapore. So here is the question: should airlines be doing more to protect passengers' belongings in the air, or is vigilance still the best defense? If you find stories like this important, remember to like, share, and subscribe to 2230 for more real stories that matter to you.